What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. Some very, very good news that I'm extremely excited to be talking about now, with it currently being reported that the Los Angeles Lakers have traded away Rajon Rondo to the Cleveland Cavaliers in exchange for cash considerations, and this is all being reported by Woj. I think this is an absolute terrific move for both teams. Basically, some people are like, well, why did the Lakers do this? First of all, the Lakers did this because they actually really want to bring back Stanley Johnson, who has been a great defensive anchor for them. He's really brought kind of a new life to their team, where their team's just kind of been really old this year, and it seems like as soon as they have a young guy like, even THT, I guess you could classify as that guy, as soon as they have some like young blood on the court, it seems like their team actually plays much better, and it seems like, there's a little bit of more hunger, I suppose, to go out and actually play well. I don't know, I definitely feel like a lot of people, really do feel like this and understand what I'm talking about here. A guy like even Austin Reeves, who, when he gets on the court, the Lakers actually seem to play a little better because it's just a young guy that comes in and, plays a role and actually does pretty well at it and brings some youth and excitement to this team. Basically, Stanley Johnson's like a 25-year-old who has been bounced around for quite a while now. He can do the basics. He can't really shoot very well, but he can still be a very good defender. Get you an open dunk every now and then. So again, they're kind of saying, well, we need to change up this roster quite a bit. And I think that Rajon Rondo is the first stepping stone of it. I think the other one will be DeAndre Jordan. I don't know how he is on an NBA team anymore. I would waive him straight away. I think there is no reason to have him anymore. And then I would go sign another young guy with his spot. And then I would, of course, trade THT, probably a first round pick and something else, to try and get Miles Turner to the team. We've seen a lot of people talk about that, and I think a lot of Lakers fans know that Miles Turner would be perfect. They are missing a lot of perimeter defense, they are missing some height, and they are missing a three-point shooter. Miles Turner can fulfill all three of those things, so I think bringing in Miles Turner would make this team so much better. Like, if you have to give up 2 first-round picks in THT to get Miles Turner, you basically can. So what the Lakers will be doing here is they'll be getting rid of Rondo, DeAndre Jordan, I would assume, and probably Tyler Norton Tucker and some first-round picks, and bringing in Stanley Johnson, another young guy, and Miles Turner. And then your team gets way younger. Like, your average age of your team goes from like 33 to probably 29 or something like that, and just looks much better. Your team gets way better defensively, and I think there's actually some young, exciting youth there that will actually want to try and play for this team. And then when we look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, they desperately needed a dude like Rajon Rondo. In fact, at the time of making this video, I'm kind of asking, can he please hurry up and play? Because we got no point guards. Like, Kevin Pangos is the starting point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Ricky Rubio, of course, we know, has done his ACL. It absolutely sucks. It is still crushing me to talk about it. It would be really, really, bad. It's really bad, like, that has happened. But yeah, again, it's making me emotional talking about it because I love Ricky Rubio and how much he's done for the Cavaliers this season. So it's a big annoyance. And then we got, Darius Garland, who's an all-star caliber player who's gone to COVID protocols. Who knows when he'll come back? It seems like these players take like 2 days to 2 weeks. No one can really decide when the player comes back at this point. It's just, I think, when they have 2 negative tests to COVID. I'm not exactly too sure how that whole entire thing works, but yeah, it's really weird, and it's really random with every single player, it seems. And then you got Kevin Pangos, who's the third point guard. He's done alright. Again, the Cavaliers did just lose to the Washington Wizards at the time making this video, where he played okay. Nothing special, but, he's just kind of a fill-in dude that really hasn't played much NBA basketball, so you can't really blame him too much for not playing, above average. And then you got, I think, RJ Nemberlin, the two-way dude, played a bit of backup point guard, and I think Isaac Okoro did as well. They really need a point guard because those guys are not ready to ball handle or don't even know how to find an assist. So that is really difficult. They need a guy, unless Kevin Love wants to turn into Nikola Jokic or something and turn those full court passes and into actually start making consistent passes. That would be the ideal situation. But against the Wizards, they didn't do too bad. They only lost by 17 points. Again, the lead assist for them was Kevin Pangos, who actually did get 6 assists in 24 minutes, which isn't ultimately bad. Were they good assists? I'm not exactly too sure. In 21 minutes, RJ Nemberland only had 2 assists and 3 points. So you wouldn't think they'd give him much minutes going further. He's a very, very kind of, I'm not exactly what the right word is for it, like unready player. I think that he needs a little bit more time to develop, and that would probably be in the G League before he actually gets to an NBA team. So again, bringing in Rajon Rondo adds a lot more experience to this team as well. Brings in a point guard that will probably play around 22 to 25 minutes per game for them, while Garland that out and let Pangos have some minutes. Then I don't know what they're going to do with Rajon Rondo afterwards. I think they're allowed to keep Rondo on for the rest of the season because Ricky Rubio is injured. So again, Rajon Rondo really has a case to battle with that. Can he become the new backup point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers? Again, it's going to be really hard to decide because Kevin Pangos is actually a solid player, and it's going to be really interesting to see, well, does Ricky Rubio, does Rajon Rondo rather, get the minutes over Pangos? And I think it's going to be interesting to see how that, of course, the whole entire situation does come to fruition. The other thing I think to talk about as well is I do still think the Cleveland Cavaliers will be highly interested in Ben Simmons. We've known they've been interested in him for quite a while now. But does this close the door on potentially Ben Simmons going to going to the Cleveland Cavaliers rather? I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that kind of ends up, because we know that the Cavaliers are still discussing with the 76ers as we speak about a potential trade. And I think just because they brought in Rondo doesn't really mean they wouldn't go out and bring a dude in like Simmons, just based on the fact that, like, look, Rondo is cool and all. It's just really, really difficult to see how he's going to go because we just don't know. He hasn't had a great season. He hasn't put up the best numbers. You'd still think they'd look after a dude like, look for a guy like Ben Simmons. I'm not saying they should trade for him. I'm just saying maybe give it a look, because I would trade for Ben Simmons if I didn't have to give up Kevin Love. I would just trade Sexton in a first or two. I wouldn't do it if I had to give up Kevin Love, because he's just been way too good for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and his scoring and three-point percentage has been absolutely awesome and too good to give up. So to answer the question, do the Cavaliers still monitor and look for Ben Simmons? I think they will, and I think they should, because even though I don't think they should trade for Ben Simmons, because I think they have to give up Kevin Love, I still think they should monitor the situation just in case they could get Ben Simmons without having to give up Kevin Love. Of course, Colin Sexton is on his rookie contract. We'll be looking for that max, so contracts do not match up yet, so this will probably be more of like a next year type thing, if I'm being completely honest, and then I think it will kind of progress from there. So yeah, and Rondo's not exactly that good. He's pretty old. I don't know if he'll even re-sign with the Cavs. He could legit just retire. So it's not like there's going to be a set in stone thing where it's just like, well, why would they not look at Ben Simmons, especially if Rajon Rondo might only be a short rental type of thing. But again, it's all up to Rondo. He's got to prove himself to see if he will just be a short rental or if he'll actually be there for quite a while. But yeah, I guess we won't know until it actually happens. I'm hoping, though, at least, that Rajon Rondo does some stuff for the Cleveland Cavaliers and they can continue on their path and hopefully do relatively alright. But again, it's really uncertain. I think, Rajon Rondo, he's had a pretty average year. Can he bounce back? That's another question that we kind of look at. When we actually do go and look at Rajon Rondo's year, it has not been pretty. The Lakers have, again, struggled with having just a lot of these senior guys not really do much. When it comes to Rajon Rondo, he is actually only averaging 3 points in 16 minutes, which is pretty bad. Pretty bad 3-point percentage as well on 26%. But he is averaging those 3.7 assists. The other thing is his defense, which he's been renowned for, hasn't been great as well. So if I'm Rajon Rondo and I'm getting to the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm not even worrying about scoring. I'm just going to try and play make the best I can. And you'd think he'd be able to do that considering they've got a lot of solid big men and a lot of solid, players like Kevin Love. Hopefully he'll be able to do something. And I think because Ricky Rubio has played with this team for so much now, you would think that Ricky Rubio would be able to tell him, well, this is what you're going to do. This is how we play. This is how you're going to set up Kevin Love. This is how he's going to set up, Evan Mobley. And then I think he can kind of learn from Ricky Rubio to see how this kind of game style is going. And then I think it will eventually progress from there. But yeah, it's going to be really difficult to see how this, of course, all does go. I think the Cavaliers will do alright, but losing Ricky Rubio, it does hurt so much. Can Rajon Rondo, can he, replace him? Or will it be Kevin Pangos? Of course, I would very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Will the Lakers also go out and trade for Miles Turner and stuff? That's the question that I want to know. I really don't think the Lakers are too far off. They just need to stay healthy and bring in a dude like Miles Turner and maybe another young three-point shooter or something like that. And yeah, I'd get rid of DeAndre Jordan. And I think getting rid of Rajon Rondo was actually a pretty smart decision by them. And yeah, look, they were never going to get a second-round pick or anything. And cash is the best you can do. I think the Cavs did this deal because they were able to secure him before he signed with someone else. But at the end of the day, I think if they offered him a contract, he might have considered it anyway, because they're doing pretty well now at this point. But of course, I would very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Do you guys think that the Cleveland Cavaliers made a good trade by getting Rajon Rondo? Or do you guys think they should have gone for another point guard? Definitely let me know down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my IRL/vlog channels and my gaming channels, which will also be linked in the description down below. But as I was saying, of course, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.